How good is The Weeknd's After Hours? Well, it starts with the man himself, Abel Tesfaye, The Weeknd, and his career. Anonymously starting his career through YouTube in 2010, Abel was destined for greatness. In 2011 he released several mixtapes being House of Madness, Thursday and Echoes of Silence, and he gained a following quickly through mainstream media and also the fact Drake attended his first concert, and inevitably his career fully took off, performing at Coachella in 2012 and continued to perform at many others like Wireless, and began to get noticed by some of the biggest people in the music industry at the time, and his career began to thrive, with Kissland also dropping. Obviously there'll be people who say they knew him from the start from his newest album, and I'll say this, I wasn't there from the start. In fact, I was 8 playing Beyblade at the time, but the album which introduced me fully to Abel's music and is still one of my favourite albums of all time is Beauty Behind the Madness, which was released in 2015, and the songs which came from this were amazing. Losers featuring Labyrinth was surprisingly the first song I listened to him for, and I was instantly hooked. And the most iconic 2 songs that came from the album was The Hills and Can't Feel My Face, which I know you'll have heard of. Then he began to release more and more music like Starboy, which was class and an instant hit, and most recently After Hours, which I'll get into in a moment. I'll be here to say it, but his voice is amazing regarding the notes he can hit, and is very reminiscent of Michael Jackson, but with his own instrumentals sounding very 80s and with his own twist to his vocals, making him very unique compared to others in like the R&B and pop industry. Now we move on to the premise of this video. The album After Hours. What did Abel do to this album to impress the viewer? The Weeknd truly reinvented himself with a new album and also through his lyrics. His lyrics do show like the regrets of breaking up with someone and regret of decisions that he made, but regardless, he's making music and moving forward. Each individual song does something. Song 1, Alone Again, is one of the best introductions to an album I've listened to. It's so well done and a perfect introduction to the album. Then you move on to song 2 and 3, Too Late and Hardest to Love, and it starts to get into a story. Both songs show the regrets that he'd done with his ex and all the regrets he made, and then goes into detail in song 4, Scared to Live. This song just shows that he hopes that she's healing well from everything that happened with him and her, and it shows perfectly through this. Song 5, Snow Child. In Snow Child, he was reminiscing on how he was before fame, and this was more of a lyrical song, and then proceeds to flex things, which isn't a surprise in the modern music industry, let's be honest, but this was just him more reminiscing of his past. Escape from LA. This song is about him being cheated on, from what I took from it, and the fact that the girl isn't that innocent and is very upset about that much that he mocks her very impressively, like in his singing voice, which really impressed me. And he's clearly more salty with time about his ex, the fact that she cheated, and also blaming it from being in LA, which, to be honest, with what other celebrities have said, it's not the best. And what does Abel do? Cheat back, which I guess is fair game, but still, my God. 'Cause I'm heartless, and I'm back to my ways 'cause I'm heartless. All this money. Then Heartless is him giving up on women, which is fair enough from the shit that happened in the last song, and being heartless when he tries to move forward. And also drugs. If you go through this album, you feel scared for him. and is mental at this point, to be honest. Faith, the song is about him being sad and on drugs, and it just proceeds to get darker. Oh my god, he creates the biggest cinematic feel to everything, and it is class. Like, I don't condone these actions, don't get me wrong, but it's mental. So I do recommend you go through this album one by one yourself in your spare time, because it is class. We all know this next one. Blinding Light, what a fucking banger. Oh shit, he went back to his ex. Ah, big mistake.
When I look at you in your eyes, I see the...
In your eyes. Forgetting he was the original problem in the relationship, he realises he's again the problem. Fucking hell. It's so good, this album. And this is a banging song as well. Then we move on to Save Your Tears. Save Your Tears, another banger and another breakup that proceeds to happen with his ex, and he also sees her in a club and she leaves the club, and it goes from there. And I know this is from real life shit that happened to him, as for a majority of the album. Then the interlude. Which is repeatedly saying, you don't love him if you're thinking of me, and speaking on her new relationship, which is a mad song. And then the song After Hours, the second to last song. He's just saying he's awful and gonna continue his actions regardless. And it's just a mental experience. Every song in this is amazing. And then it ends with the final song, Until I Bleed Out. From what I think myself, this song is about him going through this cycle again and again until it kills him. However, that's what I think. This song is actually up for your own interpretation, creating some Inception type ending, to be honest. But anyways, that's what I actually think. Like, most of the other songs, I just gathered from all the information and all the lyrics that he was saying. And for this last song, I couldn't really think what the actual answer was in the end. And I just thought it was him going through the cycle again and again until it kills him. My conclusion for this album is, if I'm talking to you guys more about story, it's amazing. Like, the vocals, the synth, the 80s backing track, you know this album is something else. And to be honest, it is one of the best albums I've listened to in recent time, and it's amazing, especially in the modern music industry, and especially mainstream music. It's outstanding.
Thought I wasn't special, man. I've been through all the pain. Told them I'ma be a hero. Know that Deku is the name. I ain't doing this for glory. I ain't doing this for fame. I'm just trying to be the greatest that the world has ever seen. Thought I wasn't special, man. I've been through all the pain. Told them I'ma be a hero. Know that Deku is the name. I ain't doing this for glory. I ain't doing this for fame. I'm just trying to be the greatest that the world has ever seen.